so inspired by the incredible love and heroism of Joan Bell, who I believe is here today, and all the other amazing pro-life activists who were granted their freedom yesterday thanks to President Trump and VP Vance. Thank you, Vice President Vance and President Trump. We can usher in a new golden age for America when we protect every life from the moment of conception. This is our moment. I am so proud of all of you, and I'm so proud of what our nation is and will become by God's grace. Make America pro-life again. Thank you.
I'm taller. Have you ever looked back and thought, well, I shouldn't plan any of this for my life? Yet life has a way of getting you right exactly where you need to be. I never planned to be an OBGYN. I never planned to be a mother. But then in medical school, I had an unplanned pregnancy. First thing I thought was, my life and my career are over, because isn't that what they tell us women? But the first person I told said, you're going to be an amazing mother. That's amazing. And more women need to hear that. So I immediately fell in love with this little one. Couldn't believe the love and the miracle of getting to grow a baby. My first rotation back after having my first child was OB. And there I was in the room watching my first birth and just falling apart weeping at the beautiful miracle of life. It became a passion for me. I was absolutely hooked. It was my greatest joy right underneath having my children. But then I went to residency, and in residency, I was introduced to abortion, specifically for babies with special needs that we would have called birth defects and anomalies. And we were told in that situation, it's a woman's right to choose. You're not here to judge. If you care about women, this is one of the things that we do in medicine. So for the first time, we didn't talk about the baby or healing. We instead talked about terminating and ending. And for the first time, we completely disregarded and actually intentionally took the life of one of our patients. That was the way I thought about abortion as I did them, that I was helping women. Until one day, and I can't tell you what happened, why, but suddenly the blinders came off. And for the first time, I actually saw the baby I was about to kill with horror. And for the first time, I actually felt the evil presence in the room of what was behind abortion. Somehow I did that abortion. I don't know how. I never did another abortion in my life. And it's been a long road to become 100% pro-life. Yes, thank you, God. My patients always told me the truth about abortion. They told me about how abortion harmed them, about their regret. They would cry to me about their abortions. But when I went to the literature as now somebody who believed in God and knew the horrors of abortion, I found that tragically they had been lying to me. But my patients told me the truth. I had somebody ask me on an airplane once, how in the world, when you've done something that horrible, do you even get up? And I'll tell you, I came to know Jesus, and I came to know his love. Thank you, God. I came to know his love and forgiveness. And so only because of Jesus can I stand up in front of you today, and only because of Jesus can I tell people the dignity, the humanity, and the amazing miracle of babies, and that abortions not only take innocent lives, but they harm women too, and they harm all of us. So I am here today. If you've had an abortion, as an abortionist, I want you to know how sorry I am. And I know that there are people listening who've participated in abortion in some way who don't yet know love and forgiveness, and that you don't have to carry this burden anymore. And to you, I say, please contact me. I would love to talk with you, the American Association of Pro-Life OB-GYNs. And this is why I march. Life is an incredible, beautiful miracle, and God's grace is available for every single one of us. God bless you.
Well, good afternoon. afternoon. My name is Hannah Lape, and I am co-president of Voice for Life at Wheaton College. For 40 years, Voice for Life has existed to build a culture of life on Wheaton's campus and to serve local moms, babies, and families. Wheaton is so excited to be here this morning, and we'd like to thank Jeannie Mancini for inviting us to carry the March for Life's historic banner. In 1970, Planned Parenthood committed its first clinical abortion in Syracuse, New York, only blocks away from the hospital where I was born in 2002. This abortion was the first in a decades-long genocide that has taken the lives of 65 million boys and girls in the United States alone. With these 65 million, we mourn too for their mothers. If the abortion industry truly cared for women, it would admit the lethal danger of abortion drugs. It would stop leveraging public confusion for political gain, and because abortion is never medically necessary, it would offer both patients in every pregnancy life-affirming care, mom and baby. Today, we affirm that the pro-life generation will not rest until every single abortion facility in our nation closes its doors for good. We will march until every child is protected by federal law, until abortion is unthinkable, and until every pregnant woman receives excellent prenatal care. With the new administration and the fall of Roe v. Wade, the next 4 years of America's history will be defined either by courage or by cowardice. Abortion is not a states' rights issue to be ignored. It is a fundamental human rights crisis weighing on America's shoulders. Our country cannot be great until the preborn are protected and are protected the right to life. Our confidence in the sanctity of all human life from conception runs deeper than civic responsibility, however. It is a timeless gospel truth. We have the assurance that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The risen King who sits in glory at the right hand of the Father is the same humble servant who took on flesh in Mary's womb. He was fully God and fully zygote, fully embryo, fully fetus, fully infant, fully child, and fully man. And so, we celebrate today that every preborn child is knit together in the image of God, and we ask our nation to defend their constitutional right to life. Not just for those who are healthy, wealthy, wanted, convenient, or respected, but for every child. Tens of thousands strong, we are a voice for life, and we will speak until heaven meets earth, when death shall be no more. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Lila, Dr. Wheeler, and Hannah. Next up, we have two more inspiring speakers. First up is Beverly Jacobson, joined by her daughter, Verity. Beautiful. Verity is so beautiful. You will see. Beverly will share what inspired her to begin her nonprofit, Mama Bear Care. Following Beverly, and I should say Beverly's husband is also joining her up here. Following Beverly is Josiah Presley, another incredibly inspiring story. I can't wait for you to hear his testimony. I'll leave it at that. So please give a warm welcome to Beverly and to Josiah.
Are there any mama bears here today? Let me hear you if you're a mama bear. You know that mama bear comes out when someone messes with your kid, right? Let me tell you about when I became a mama bear. I was 5 months pregnant, but I wasn't excited. I was terrified. We had been told that our baby girl had Edwards syndrome, and this is a condition they said was incompatible with life. So I was meeting with a specialty doctor because I needed information. I needed hope. I needed someone to show me a path through this. And instead, this is what I heard. So, you're here to talk about your retarded daughter. He went on to say that if she survived, she would be a drain on the family, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Well, let me tell you, Mama Bear woke up. And something changed in me that day. And it changed the course of our whole journey. Because as Mama Bear rose up, so did hope. A fierce love swept over me, driving me to find the tender care that my baby needed. And look, Verity is here with us today. She is about to celebrate her 8th birthday. Yeah, she is such a gift from God. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. This has not been an easy journey. But as we began to find our new normal, we started reaching out to other families who were on this journey. And over the last few years through our nonprofit ministry, we have been building an army of mama bears rising up to fight for these precious kids. Because these mama bears are told over and over that abortion is the logical next step after they get a prenatal diagnosis. But these mama bears need hope. They need to know that there are people and resources to help them. And most of all, these mama bears, they need to know that their baby bears are a gift from God who deserve to be celebrated. I want to invite you to join the Mama Bear movement. You can learn more and get connected with our ministry at mamabearcare.org. And this is where we advocate for fierce love and tender care. So why do I march for life? I march for life because Verity deserves to be celebrated. Why do we all march for life? Because we know that every mama bear and every baby bear deserves to be celebrated. Thank you.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Abortion Survivors Network, I want to thank you all for being here today. I'm adopted from South Korea, and 2 months into my birth mother's pregnancy with me, she decided to have a DNC abortion. This is a type of abortion where the doctor goes into the mother's womb and rips the baby apart and brings them out in pieces. At the time, they thought everything had gone according to plan and they sent her home. But it wasn't until a few months later that she realized that the abortion had actually failed and I was still very much so alive. At this point, I was kept and born later on that year. I lived in a foster home for 13 months and then was adopted into the Presley family and raised here in the States. This journey has been a long journey. It's been a difficult journey, but this has been the journey that God has placed on my life. And today I march to be a voice for those who are voiceless like I was all those years ago. Today I march because when I was unseen and devalued, my God had a different plan. And today we march to declare what our Creator has already declared, that all human life is valuable because it is created in the image of God. And I don't want you to miss this powerful point today. Today, it's not powerful, it's not a moving day because of us few up here on the platform. Today is a powerful day because of each and every one of you, because of each and every one of us. Individuals created in the image of God and called by our Creator to gather today and in one unignorable voice send an unignorable message that every human life is valuable across all ages, stages, ethnicities, economic statuses, abilities, or circumstances. I leave you with this. In Matthew 5, Jesus, he says this, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor does anybody light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. In the same way, let your good works shine before others so that they may see your Father who's in heaven and give glory to him." Today, we are shining brightly, and may we continue to shine every day for the glory of our Creator. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Beverly and Josiah, for sharing your very, very powerful testimonies. Stories like theirs highlight the need for life-saving legislation at the federal level, like the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act that passed just this week in the House, and that the House passed and the Senate voted on just this week. We need to continue to call on Congress and the White House to prioritize pro-life, pro-woman, and pro-family policies so that abortion one day soon becomes unthinkable. Right now, you are going to have the opportunity to contact your elected officials and the White House, calling on them to protect the most vulnerable among us. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. You've done this before. Grab your cell phone, pull it out right now, hold it up. Okay, I see some of you holding it up. I'm going to start calling some of you out. Mary, Margaret, hold up your cell phones. We're doing a call to action. Yes, thank you. So now I want you to text MARC8 to 73075. MARC8 to 73075. Send a message to Congress that you want them to protect both mom and baby. Brian, hold up that phone. All right. Hold up that phone back there with that white hat. Come on, let's see your phones up there. 73075 MARCH. Text MARCH to 73075 to be a voice for the voiceless. Every voice counts. So send that text MARCH to 73705, and together we'll send this important message to our elected officials. I know you've all been waiting for our next speaker, our keynote. I'm very happy to introduce you to our keynote, Bethany Hamilton, known for one of the greatest comeback stories of all time, having lost her arm to a shark at the age of 13, only to return to surfing 1 month after. Bethany's story of determination, faith, and hope has resounded in encouragement worldwide. Please give a warm Hawaiian welcome to Bethany Hamilton.
Aloha! Woohoo! We are here to celebrate life, the God-given beauty of children and life and the next generation. Oh, my life has had many turns that I couldn't have foreseen or planned myself. And I think all of us have that at one moment or another. But at just 13 years old, when I lost my arm, I thought, I can't surf with one arm. My life felt upside down, confusing. I felt like everything was chaotic. I didn't know what my future held. I needed hope. Someone came alongside of me and gave me hope that I could surf with an arm. They gave me a hint of inspiration that I could do it. And that gave me the courage and bravery to do what I hadn't seen anyone else do, surf with one arm. It ignited a desire in me to try something that I hadn't seen anyone else do. Fast forward, let me share something deeply personal with you. I remember the moment when I first had my very first pregnancy test. I had a similar fear. I didn't think I could do it. I don't know where that came from. I came from a great family, a Christian household. I was married to a wonderful man. And all of a sudden, I was rejecting this God-given gift and beauty that was only a blessing. What made me think that I wasn't ready? I was at the height of my career. We so often put our career before our children, our family, our loved ones. But still, just like the woman struggling to want to keep her baby, I had similar struggles. And it's humbling now when I look back on that. But the society and culture is so strong, filled with so many lies, and we're all hearing it. I believe that even though everyone here is pro-life, some of you may even struggle with this at some point. None of us are above that. These people aren't inherently evil. They're just being fed lies, and the more they hear these lies, the more they believe them. Now imagine, I had all the support in the world to bring this life. But imagine the woman who doesn't have all the support in the world. She's struggling to have hope that she can do it. She's being fed these lies that she can't do it, and that life has no value. She's scared, she's alone, she's overwhelmed. She feels like her life is upside down. She's being told that death is better than life. But who are we to choose death on behalf of someone else? So here's what I've discovered, and I hope that you here today can help spread this message of hope to all the young women who need to hear this. And maybe even more important, to raise up a generation of young men who can come alongside and do the right thing to serve that woman in the way that she needs. We need strong men. Come on, boys, let's hear it. Woo! Now, being a mother of 4, they are my greatest joy, the most beautiful blessing. They are the high of my every single day. Yes, there's challenges, and yes, it's difficult at times, but the beauty sure outweighs the challenge. And I look forward to every single day serving my beautiful children and sharing life with them. Children are true wealth, and they are truly the greatest blessing that God has to offer us, alongside of his grace. And so today, as we rally around a cause that God has called us to protect life and to love our neighbor, to come alongside of that young man and woman who are thinking of choosing death, to be that person to bring them hope. You know, when I lost my arm, someone came alongside of me and gave me hope. They reminded me of God's love and that maybe there was more to my life, and who knew what was possible. And so these women, they need hope. They need encouragement. They need light in their life. And we as a society need to combat the lies that are being fed to them each and every day. Get strong on social media, because the truth is, this is where everyone is being fed these lies. And so, to all the women who feel like they're not ready for this, let's be a reminder to them to be willing to try and to put themselves out there, to do what seems impossible. Children are heritage from the Lord. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. So, as we march for life, the greatest gift of all, let us send a message of hope and love to the moms and mothers-to-be and to the fathers, that they too can say to themselves, I don't need easy, I just need possible. Thank you, and aloha.
Okay, and now I'd like to announce a very special video.
Hello to everyone at the March for Life. It's a pleasure to speak to you from the beautiful Oval Office. That's where we are right now, the magnificent Oval Office. And thank you for turning out once again to show your extraordinary love and compassion for the unborn. Each year, Americans of every age, color, and background travel to our nation's capital by the tens of thousands to stand up for precious little babies who cannot stand up for themselves. I am proud to be the first president ever to have joined you in person. As you know, this annual march started 52 years ago on the first anniversary of the disastrous ruling known as Roe v. Wade. That unconstitutional decision took power away from the states and the voters, kicking off 50 years of division and anger. But thanks to your tireless work and devotion across 5 decades, that historic wrong was set right 3 years ago. I was so proud to be a participant. 6 courageous justices of the Supreme Court of the United States returned the issue to the state legislatures and to the people where it belongs. It became a vote of the people. In my second term, we will again stand proudly for families and for life. We will protect the historic gains we have made and stop the radical Democrat push for a federal right to unlimited abortion on demand, up to the moment of birth and even after birth. Think of that, after birth. And some people want that. Can you believe it? We will work to offer a loving hand to new mothers and young families, and we will support adoption and foster care. We will protect women and vulnerable children. Under my leadership, a reformed Department of Justice will finally investigate the radical left attacks on churches and crisis pregnancy centers, and we will bring perpetrators to justice. We will get them to justice one way or the other. I will also end the weaponization of law enforcement against Americans of faith, and I'm releasing the Christians and pro-life activists who were persecuted by the Biden regime for praying and living out their faith. I just signed that document, and they're being released. One such American was Paula Harlow. At 75 years old, Paula was sentenced to 2 years in prison after praying outside of a clinic. That's why she was sentenced to 2 years. That's what happened under the Biden regime. In her sentencing, the judge mocked her Christian faith while her husband pleaded to be thrown in jail with his wife, fearing she would die alone behind bars. This week, it was my honor to grant a full and complete pardon to Paula and many others who were the victims of this horrific weaponization. Never again will religious persecution be allowed to happen in America. To all of the very special people marching today in this bitter cold, I know your hearts are warm and your spirits are strong, because your mission is just very, very pure, to forge a society that welcomes and protects every child as a beautiful gift from the hand of our Creator. Thank you for never losing hope and never giving up. Thank you for your tremendous support. God bless you, and God bless America.
Wow, how about that, right? I heard President Trump tell a reporter this morning that he would be watching the March for Life today. So let's let him hear our gratitude for those strong pro-life policy commitments. Thank you, President Trump. We are with you as you continue to stand up for unborn human beings and moms who need a hand. I also want to acknowledge a few members of the President's senior domestic policy team who are here today. These are the people who will be working on the pro-life policy agenda, so you can keep them all in your prayers. My friends, the Director of the White House Domestic Policy Council, Vince Haley, is here, Deputy Director Heidi Overton, and Special Assistant to the President, Wells King. Thank you all for being here and for your hard work. Well, last time I was on this stage, I said I was just getting started, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all back here next year. It is now my honor to introduce to you someone else who is just getting started, and who I certainly hope will be back here marching with us again in years to come. In his first public event since he took the oath of office just a few days ago with his beautiful young family by his side, please help me welcome your Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance.
Let me say, thank you. Good afternoon, marchers. Thank you for having me. And it is an honor to be standing with you here today for life. We are proud to march with you, and yes, we will be back next year. The excitement, the passion, the unwavering conviction that every single person here on the National Mall clearly feels. It is deeply moving to me and means more to President Trump and I than I could possibly say. For over a half century, this march has united tens of thousands of Americans from all walks of life to rally for the cause of life in our nation. It is the single largest gathering in the world to celebrate our movement, the victories we've fought so hard for, and yes, the victories yet to come. And I want to personally welcome all of you who have traveled from far and wide to our nation's capital. Thank you for your dedication, and it is an incredible crowd, and it's great to see you today. You know, on Monday, we were forced to move all of the inauguration events indoors because of the bitter cold, and it was cold. But you guys, and it's cold today, here you are outside in an especially frigid January. And I don't think I've ever seen such a joyful crowd out here, particularly during this time of year. Now, as you all know, the event theme this year is life, why we march. And there are obvious answers to the implicit question it poses. We march to protect the unborn. We march to proclaim and live out the sacred truth that every single child is a miracle and a gift from God. Now, each time Usha and I welcomed our own children into the world, we saw firsthand the indescribable beauty of new life, and yes, as you can see, sometimes the behavioral challenges that we had on Monday, but they were good. They were good. And watching all three of our kids grow, learn, and become who they are today has been the single greatest blessing of our lives. Now, every parent here knows that feeling, that awe at a newborn child. It is our responsibility to cherish and to protect it. But thinking about the question of why we march, there are also some subtler, but equally more important answers to that question that I want to reflect on today. Now, the task of our movement is to protect innocent life. It's to defend the unborn, and it's also to be pro-family and pro-life in the fullest sense of that word possible. Now, across my own lifetime, I can't tell you the number of friends and other acquaintances I've had who, facing a pregnancy or the prospect of one, react not with joy but with concern. They wonder, how can they afford it? What will it mean for their education, their career, their relationship, or their family? And I know how many of you in this crowd have devoted immeasurable time and resources to help answer those questions and to lend a hand to young people facing a moment of desperation. But by and large, our society, our country, has not yet stepped up in the way you have. And our government certainly has failed in that important responsibility. We failed a generation not only by permitting a culture of abortion on demand, but also by neglecting to help young parents achieve the ingredients they need to live a happy and meaningful life. A culture of radical individualism took root, one where the responsibilities and joys of family life were seen as obstacles to overcome, not as personal fulfillment or personal blessings. Our society has failed to recognize the obligation that one generation has to another is a core part of living in a society to begin with. So let me say very simply, I want more babies in the United States of America. I want more happy children in our country. And I want beautiful young men and women who are eager to welcome them into the world and eager to raise them. And it is the task of our government to make it easier for young moms and dads to afford to have kids, to bring them into the world, and to welcome them as the blessings that we know they are here at the March for Life. Now, it should be easier to raise a family, easier to find a good job, easier to build a home, to raise that family in, easier to save up and purchase a good stroller, a crib for a nursery. We need a culture that celebrates life at all stages, one that recognizes and truly believes that the benchmark of national success is not our GDP number or our stock market, but whether people feel that they can raise thriving and healthy families in our country. And that brings me back to where we stand today. Earlier this week, President Donald J. Trump stood in the Capitol Rotunda and took the oath of office, becoming not just the 45th, but now the 47th President of the United States, and I know all of you helped. With the inauguration on Monday, our country faces the return of the most pro-family, most pro-life American president of our lifetimes. Now, this is the man who delivered on his promise of ending Roe, giving us a monumental, earth-shattering decision in Dobbs. The man who appointed hundreds of pro-life judges dedicated to defending the constitutional liberties of all Americans. And the man who supported pro-family policies like doubling the child tax credit, which happened during his first administration and which we're going to do so much more on in the second administration. Now he's back, and we're going to do it again. Now, yesterday, President Trump issued a strong endorsement of the Born Alive Abortion Act, ensuring that those babies who survived botched abortions enjoy the equal protection under law, which is the obligation of every citizen to enjoy in this country. With his return to office, no longer will the federal government direct FBI raids on the homes of people like Mark Houck and other Catholic and Christian activists who are fighting for the unborn every single day. And no longer will our government throw pro-life protesters and activists, elderly, grandparents, or anybody else in prison. It stopped on Monday, and we're not going to let it come back to this country. Instead, and I know you all saw the news, the 47th president has already issued pardons to those unjustly imprisoned. And I want to be clear that this administration stands by you, we stand with you, and most importantly, we stand with the most vulnerable and the basic principle that people exercising the right to protest on behalf of the most vulnerable should never have the government go after them ever again. Now, the crowd assembled here in this incredible national mall provides an extraordinary example for our nation. You donate to diaper banks, you help find housing for those in need, you help fund the crisis pregnancy centers that give help to young women and young men in a time of crisis. You guys are the beating heart of the pro-life movement, and you've saved many lives already, and you're going to save more again. You being here this very March is a reminder of the incredible strength and unity of the pro-life movement, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for marching here today. And most importantly, in your works, you remind us that the March for Life is not just a single event that happens on a frigid January day. The March for Life is the work of the pro-life movement every single day from this point forward. Now, it is a lifelong call to action, a moment in time, but every single day that you guys do what you do, from supporting young moms and dads to fighting for the unborn, to working with our legislatures at the state and federal level, you make it possible for us to stand here and say that America is fundamentally a pro-baby, a pro-life, and a pro-family country. Now, I hesitate to give you all advice because I can see there are young and old people who have been in the pro-life movement, some of you for longer than I've even been alive, and I'm grateful to you. But if I can offer one piece of advice, it's a piece of advice born out of my own experience. There was a point when I would get frustrated with people who didn't see what we saw. I would get frustrated that people could look at a picture of a baby on an ultrasound and see not a human being, but just a clump of cells. But one of the things that being a father has taught me, and one of the things that being in politics has taught me over the last couple of years, is that it is a blessing to know the truth, and the truth is that unborn life is worthy of protection. So please go forth, not with frustration, but with joy. We are joyful to March for Life. We are joyful to know that that picture on an ultrasound, that is a picture of a baby with hopes and dreams and potential to come. It is a joy and a blessing to fight for the unborn, to work for the unborn, and to march for life. God bless you all, and thank you for having me. It's an honor to be with you.
Wow. Can we give a warm thank you to Mr. Vice President? We are most grateful that you would choose the March for Life to be the first public event in office. Joining us now to lead us in prayer is the Reverend Dr. Matthew Harrison, President of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. He has many pastors who are here with him today, and they join him in solidarity. Shortly after we will begin to march, you all have been so patient with our incredible lineup of speakers, but let's give a warm and honorable welcome to Reverend Dr. Matthew Harrison.
Why do we march? Because the blood of Jesus Christ, God's Son, cleanses us from all our sins. Why do we march? Because many consciences in America have died, and we believe in resurrections, and we say, Lazarus, come out. Have I got my guys coming? Have I got my homies? They tell me my homies are coming. We are the pro-life Lutherans, the LCMS, and we have a doxal. They're not coming. So the God of peace, who brought again the dead from our the God of peace, who brought again from the dead our Lord Jesus, the great shepherd of the sheep, by the blood of the eternal covenant, equip you with everything good, that you may do his will, working in us that which is well-pleasing in his sight, through Jesus Christ, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen. Let's rock and roll.
From all of us in the United States Senate, we wanted to say thank you to all of you for coming out on this cold January day to stand for the value of every single child.
Today we stand united, not just in belief, but in conviction that every human life is sacred.
Being pro-life is about more than words. It's about action.
Your presence is a powerful reminder of the value of every human life.
I'm encouraged that so many Americans can come together, united by one message: life matters.
Now more than ever, we must stand together in the fight to protect the unborn.
The fight for life is the defining moral question of our time. It demands that we be a voice for the voiceless.
More than 55 million Americans will never touch their feet on the soil because of abortion.
And I think that we're in a pivotal time right now. We need people to show up and let their voices be heard.
And one of the most common sense things we need to be doing as conservatives is protecting our most vulnerable.
We march for the conscience rights of millions of healthcare providers, and we march for the rights of millions of pro-life taxpayers.
There is power in numbers, and together we must continue to use our voices to uphold the values.
This is a beautiful event, and it's so encouraging that many of you are maintaining this sacred tradition.
To march for those who God already knows, but we have not yet had the pleasure of meeting.
We march for every baby, mother, and life brought into this world.
Because of you, tens of thousands of innocent babies have been saved nationwide.
Together we can improve health care, support new moms, and honor the dignity of every human life.
Your advocacy is turning the tide of our country so that mothers and unborn children can receive the support that they deserve.
I'm proud to be pro-life, pro-woman, and pro-family.
I'm proud to stand with you and fight for pro-life, pro-family policies.
There's no greater cause than giving a voice to the voiceless.
The miles of progress that we've won were achieved inch by inch